good to have you with us on the 9 p.m. edition of the Urban Debate. In the next 50 minutes, we're going to put the focus on the big debate over caste-based census. This debate that's been reignited with Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar likely to raise this issue in his meeting with Prime Minister Modi in the coming days. In fact, JDU is not the only party that has been raising the volume on a caste-based census. Several other political parties, opposition and otherwise, those who are usually neutral, sometimes even backing the BJP, have in fact said that yes, this is a good idea. Now, let me first very quickly tell you the journey so far about our caste-based census. We actually used to do it in our country. And that's how you have all these details of this percent of that caste and this tribe. Because till 1931, the census that was carried out in our country would have caste-based data. And then, when the Britishers were here, it got suspended for various reasons, administrative, financial reasons. They didn't have the bandwidth, they didn't really care so much about it. When we got our independence, we completely got done with it and did not look into a caste-based census. Census, of course, is where you take down details to get a sense of your own population. And that is what any which ways our country does frequently, but we don't go into the details of it. Now, the demand for it is increasing. In 2011, it became a big issue. At that time, during the UPA government, its own Congress party leaders, along with others, raised this, hotly debated it in the parliament, and decided to go ahead with a caste census. And in 2011, that caste census was done. But it was never made public. And so now, once again, several political parties are asking for it. Now, why this debate, whether we should have it or not? Well, one side says, if you're going to have affirmative action, if you're going to have reservation as a policy in your country, quota for jobs, quota in education, then you need to know the population, the socio-economic standing of various castes and communities that you have in your country. Only then can you actually design a policy which benefits those who actually need it the most. And in our country, of course we have quotas. Of course we have more and more quotas coming about every time there is an election around. Political parties resort to caste-based politics, promising additional reservation for this caste or that caste or this community, and that goes on and on. So it's a very internal part of how our society functions, how our government functions, how our governance, political policies function, how our affirmative action policies function, how the political parties function in this country. You cannot deny the fact that during election time, caste math, caste-based promises, community-based promises make a big chunk. And so, tonight we talk about it and we ask this question, that to ensure that your quota policies, affirmative action policies are rightly designed and most beneficial, should you have a caste-based census? Is that the only way to do this? Either we can do away with reservation altogether and then say, no, we don't see anybody from the prism of caste, and it's all based merit, and then it's fine. But we as a country do not do that right now. Then do we not need updated information about this demography in our country? Let's say good evening to the panelists who are joining us right now. Professor Sanjay Kumar, former director for CSDS, Professor Maninder Thakur, Center for Political Studies, JNU, founder for the Bihar Research Group, Amitabh Tiwari, a political strategist, Anila Singh of the BJP, राजीव रंजन ऑफ द जेडीयू ज्वाइनिंग अस राइट नाउ। राजीव रंजन जी, आपसे शुरू करते हैं कि आपकी पार्टी का क्यों ये मानना है कि कास्ट बेस्ड सेंसस का समय आ गया?
देखिए, कास्ट बेस्ड सेंसस की बात हम लोग पहली बार नहीं कर 1990 में पहली बार नीतीश कुमार जी ने ये बात कही और ये बिहार विधान मंडल का सर्वसम्मत प्रस्ताव, जिसमें अनिला जी की पार्टी भी इस प्रस्ताव के पक्ष में बिहार में रही। इसलिए मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक तरफ सैद्धांतिक तौर पर हम आरक्षण की वकालत करते हैं। आरक्षण संवैधानिक अधिकार है और इसको लेकर अलग अलग राज्यों को अधिकार भी मिले हैं कि वो अपने राज्य में पिछड़े वर्ग की जातियों का सूचीकरण करें। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब आरक्षण से किसी को ऐतराज नहीं तो आरक्षण का आधार भी कहीं न कहीं 1921 के जातीय जनगणना के बाद देश में जनगणना नहीं हुई, लेकिन मंडल कमीशन के रिकमेंडेशंस भी कहीं ना कहीं आखिरी बार के जनगणना को ध्यान में रखते हुए ही उन्होंने 27% की सिफारिश की थी, इसलिए कि उनका मानना था कि 52% ओबीसी वोटर्स हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं संख्या, जाति, ये तमाम मुद्दे पहले भी विमर्श में रहे हैं और इसमें नीतीश कुमार जी ने बाएं दाएं की बात नहीं सोची। सीधे तौर पर योजनाओं के निर्धारण, उसमें लोगों की संख्या, उसके आधार पर योजनाओं में लागत का आकलन, कई व्यवहारिक रास्ते इससे निकल करके आ पाएंगे, इसीलिए उन्होंने ये बात कही। और अब आप देख रहे हैं एनसीपी से लेकर के देश के अनेक राजनीतिक दल इस मांग के साथ हैं। बिहार में राष्ट्रीय जनता दल और जो जेडीयू एक दूसरे के खिलाफ दो अलग अलग अलायंसेज में है, लेकिन इस मांग के साथ है। तो मुझे लगता है ये इस मांग के साथ जो लोग भी हैं, इस सिलसिले में जनता दल यूनाइटेड के 16 एमपीज का डेलीगेशन अमित शाह जी से मिल चुका है। प्रधानमंत्री जी से राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी ने समय मांगी थी, वो समय भी उन्हें दिया जा चुका है। तो एक राजनीतिक तौर पर अगर आप देखें तो कहीं ना कहीं ये समाधान की अपेक्षा सबको है कि लंबे समय से इस पर हम बातें करते रहे हैं, इस पर एक सर्वानुमति से निर्णय हो।
Okay, Anila Singh, your party, as the central government right now, is not in favor of a caste-based census, because apparently you don't see anybody from the prism of caste in communities, OBC or otherwise. Is that the reason you don't want it?
Tanvi, I think it is not a very right argument when we say that any political party doesn't see the society from the prism of caste or religion. If we talk about caste and religion are hard facts of our country, and we cannot ignore them. And no political party should ignore them as well. But when we have to see as a country as a whole, where we have to see all the castes and all the religion, and then we have to think about the welfare of the society, welfare of the country, and without straining the system, then definitely the governments, whether it is NDA government or it was the UPA government, they thought that it is not the right time to do the caste-based census. But at the same time, states are free. They can go ahead because it comes at a concurrent list, so they can go ahead. They can do caste census in their respective states, as Karnataka did. So blaming central government, NDA government, that NDA government is not very much interested in getting the caste census done, I think it is inappropriate. They can go ahead, states can go ahead, they can get it done. And whatever they want to know about the caste and whatever they want to know that whether the respective castes have improved or they have deteriorated, so they will come to know about it. So why they are depending so much on central government?
Okay, let me bring in our three experts and try and explain it to our viewers also, the various sides of it. Professor Sanjay Kumar, let's start off with you. Why is it that the party which is in power in the center seems to be the one not interested, but almost every other political party right now, whether they are BJP allies or sworn enemies, are demanding a caste census?
I think this question should be asked to the political party, why they are reluctant to hold a caste census. Well, I would pose a counter question. Why should there not be a caste census? I think we are using a wrong term. We are already having a caste census. In all the census, what we do, we actually calculate the Dalits and the Adivasis. For the Dalits also, for every caste that is getting recorded. So if you talk about the Dalits, within the Dalits, there are different castes. So we can get the estimates of different castes within the Dalits in the census, all the census. What is not being done is to note down the caste of people who don't belong to either of the two categories, which is SCs and STs. So I don't think there is any harm. It is not about resources. It is not about time. It is not about energy. You go to somebody's house, you ask several questions, and you ask just one more question about which caste do you belong to, and that can be noted. Noted in a sense, there has to be a column, and you just get an estimate of that. There is no issue of time. There is no issue of energy. And the curiosity in people's mind is that a caste census mean enumeration of OBC was done in 2011. Why it has not been released? What is the issue? I think it is all right for the people of this country to know what is the proportion of people belonging to different castes, especially when the central government initiates different policies and programs in order to benefit people belonging to those castes. What is their percentages? When reservation is being fixed at 15% for Dalits, why it is at 15%? We know that they are 15% in India's population. Why it is 7.5% for Adivasis? We know that they are 7.5% in country's population. How do we know that? From the census. When it is fixed, when reservation for OBC has been fixed for 27.5%, what is the logic for 27.5%? Do we assume that they are 27.5% in India's population? Are they less? Are they more? I think everybody has a right to know that. So I don't think there is any harm in having a census where caste of every person is noted down, enumerated, and we get to know the estimates of different castes.
So then, Professor Thakur, when a similar exercise was undertaken in 2011, what was the reason that it wasn't made public or revealed? Were there challenges, and will we face those challenges again, or was it simply a very politically complicated data point?
I have no idea why it has not been released. It is challenging, but there are several things in the
country
Sanjay
Kumar, let me take that question across to Maninder Thakur. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it was not made public. If so much of resources was spent on that, therefore it should have been made public, and we should know about the details of it. And I don't think that we should give states this job to do census of their own. That will be unnecessary duplication. I think the centers should go ahead with caste census, and all, as Sanjay rightly said, that all kinds of castes should be enumerated, which is around, probably by that calculation that was done in 2011, is 46 lakhs. There will be a problem of putting them into categories. And therefore, I think the question of reservation should be separated from enumeration of caste. SC/ST, I think, is a different category. It's easy, but when it comes to deciding the OBC is more or less a category that has more than caste. Actually, Mandal Commission has several other criteria to define a person or a community falling in the OBC. So that should be a different exercise, once again, to find out which categories should be put under OBC. And then there should be within caste differentiation that should be taken into account, as Bihar government has done that. I think if we have agreed for reservations, if we have agreed for protective discrimination, then we must try to do it properly. And the fear probably the ruling class has that it might unleash another kind of identity politics. I think all parties are doing identity politics. So let there be a new kind of situation in which you know the number exactly, so that even if you want to do the micromanagement, you can do it better. I don't see any reason why political parties are reluctant in doing it. A lot of people are suggesting that it will bring back the same old dynamics of Mandal versus Kamandal. I think we have really moved out from that. And even if it is a political plan to kind of zero down the ruling party on the ground of a particular kind of identity that creates the majority. Even then, I think we should go for this census so that we exactly know the situation. And I'm sure that that will help us in understanding the social reality, that will help us in implementing different kind of policies and programs.
So why, one question, of course, that we will ask more political representatives when they join us, is there a hesitation? But the hesitation largely right now is from the BJP side. But why do we need it? Now, let's look into the details of it. Amitabh Tiwari, right now we have a certain description given and categorization and communities included in OBC, other backward castes. And that's the categorization that's used for a lot of government schemes, a lot of reservation policies. But doesn't that have to be reviewed basis if that caste is still the most backward caste, or there are some who have gotten worse? Just help us put that in perspective and why BJP may be averse to it right now.
See, I mean, we are in the 21st century now, and 75 years, we'll be completing 75 years of our independence. And a caste-based census, apart from the benefits which have already been enumerated, that they would lead to a targeted public policy and targeted beneficiaries would benefit from such policies. But one thing we need to understand is that we have already moved from a caste-based public policy to a class-based public policy. I mean, most of the schemes which the Modi government has and which are popular, like the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana or the Awas Yojana or the Ayushman Bharat, they are provided to everybody irrespective of caste. See, the demand for caste-based census has a political overtone to it. Sanjay ji said that 27.5% reservation was provided when the Mandal Commission said that 52% reservation or OBCs account for 52% of the population. Then why didn't the Janata Dal government at that point of time, where Nitish Kumar ji and Lalu Yadav ji were part of that government, why didn't they do it 52% at that point of time itself? And so what has happened is that OBC को कभी एक vote block नहीं माना गया है, और BJP has made non-Yadav OBC a vote block. So it's not a very homogeneous vote block. It has more than 2,000 castes. But BJP has made this a vote block, and BJP has shed its image from an upper caste party. So now it is getting votes of OBCs also. It is the #1 OBC party in India and also getting votes of Dalits. And it has used the Hindutva or the Ram Mandir or the Article 370 or the nationalism. All these issues are now binding the vote blocks across the Hindu community. So the only tool now probably others have is that we move to a system of people voting on the basis of caste. Because otherwise, if Hindus are 80% of population and minorities are 20% of population, and this caste-based voting diminishes, what will happen is that the unified Hindu vote theory of the RSS, which is even if 50% people vote for BJP, which is 40% vote share, it will never lose in a national election. So that is what is making all the parties, which is the opposition or which is the socialist parties or ex-Janata Dal constituents, jittery.
Okay. Two aspects that you raised here, and Rajiv Ranjan must respond to both. One, when your central government policies or all government policies become more class-based and welfare policies and schemes are all class-based, then why do you need a caste census? And two, is it because you are now nervous about the kind of vote consolidation that can happen without really getting into caste?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो पॉलिटिकली हम लोग कंस्टिट्यूएंट हैं नेशनल डेमोक्रेटिक अलायंस, और अगर वोट के कंसोलिडेट होने का सवाल है तो उस कंसोलिडेशन का नुकसान जनता दल यूनाइटेड को कहाँ है जिससे हम परेशान हो जाएं? अगर बीजेपी गेनर है उसका नुकसान हम लोगों को तो नहीं होना है, इसलिए कि हम तो उसके पार्ट हैं। लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं ये मैं इसको चालाकी जैसे शब्द का इस्तेमाल नहीं करना चाहता। सैद्धांतिक तौर पर आरक्षण के खिलाफ आप नहीं। बड़े राजनेता अपनी जाति का प्रचार खुद कराते हैं जिससे कि उनके इर्द गिर्द उन मतों का पोलराइजेशन हो। जाति, धर्म, संप्रदाय इस देश की सबसे बड़ी सच्चाई है। इसलिए अगर ओबीसी कंसोलिडेशन की भी बात आप करते हैं तो अगर कास्ट बेस्ड सेंसस होता है तो उससे नुकसान आपका क्या है? किसी का नुकसान नहीं है। मैं ये मानता हूं कि कहीं ना कहीं जो बातें देश की आजादी के बाद सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल ने इसलिए ये उस समय टालने की बात कही तो उस समय विभाजन का जो दंश था वो काफी गहरा था। जो भी विस्थापन की यंत्रणा लोगों ने भोगी थी, जिस तरह की मौतें हुई थी, जिस तरह से हत्याएं, बलात्कार, वो घटनाएं काफी ताजी थी। और उस समय एक बार फिर से उस सामाजिक ताने बाने को तोड़ने का कोई साहस नहीं कर सकता। लेकिन जिस तरह से आरक्षण के बाद प्रतिक्रियाएं आई, धीरे धीरे आपका ये लगभग 75 वर्षों का जो ये लोकतंत्र है अब ये परिपक्व हो रहा है। और ऐसे में सवाल मतों के ध्रुवीकरण का हो सकता है, सबकी नजर अपने अपने तरीके से हो सकती है, लेकिन इसका पक्ष, इसका सैद्धांतिक पक्ष क्या है, इसको कैसे कोई नकार सकता है कि हम प्रधानमंत्री जी की भी चर्चा करते हैं किसी एक जाति या किसी वर्ग विशेष के तौर पर, हम मुख्यमंत्रियों की चर्चा करते हैं जाति और धर्म के आधार पर, अलग अलग दलों के नेताओं की चर्चा हम करते हैं जातियों के आधार पर, फिर उनकी संख्या का आकलन, उसका एक वैज्ञानिक पैमाना अगर कास्ट बेस्ड सेंसस है तो फिर इससे किसी को इनकार क्यों है?
हम कैबिनेट में पोस्ट भी जाति और कम्युनिटी के आधार पे देते हैं, चाहे वो राज्यों में हो चाहे केंद्र लेवल पे हो, तो फिर वो किसको रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं और किस वजह से वहां पे है और उनकी कम्युनिटी का क्या स्टेटस है वो जानने से क्यों कतराते हैं? ओके, फेयर इनफ, पॉइंट टेकन। आई इन फैक्ट वांट टू टेक दिस बैक to Sanjay Kumar. Professor Sanjay Kumar, let's now talk politically speaking. Will it just reignite or ignite a very different kind of identity politics, forcing a lot of parties to go back to the drawing board? Because you've been working under certain assumptions and those may change. Or are the political strategies being used today very close to what reality may be once this census emerges?
If you recollect that the emergence of regional party, the strong regional party, we have witnessed that in the post-Mandal times. So whether it is Lalu Yadav's party, Nitish Kumar's party, Mulayam Singh's party, we can keep taking names of few other political parties, which has a very solid support base among the OBCs. And the OBCs formed the core vote bank of these political parties. But that was the story in the 90s. We recollect how these parties emerged very strong in the 90s. All the elections, whether it is the Lok Sabha elections of 96, 98, 99, or the assembly elections in many of these states, these elections were actually swept by these regional parties. And why regional parties were able to, perform so well in those elections? It was only because the OBCs rallied behind these political parties. These political parties championed the cause of OBCs. But what has happened during last 3 decades is that these regional parties started losing attraction among their support base, especially among the OBCs also. They started losing their support base. And it is true that in the 2014 and 2019 elections, large number of OBCs have shifted towards BJP. But remember, the shift is largely among the lower OBC, not that much among the upper OBCs. And when I say upper OBC, I would put, say, Yadav's in UP, they still vote for Mulayam Singh's party, Akhilesh Yadav's party in a large number. And if we talk about Bihar, Yadav's vote for RJD in a very large number. So what has happened is that there is a movement of OBC towards BJP, but that movement is largely among the lower OBC. BJP is not still confident of consolidating its support base among the OBC voters. So the fear among the BJP is that if you do a caste-based census, once the data for the OBC numbers comes up, this might give a new lease of life to these regional party. And the fear BJP has, it's all anticipation, I believe, that since the OBC support base has not consolidated for BJP, the way BJP has made inroads among the upper caste vote for BJP in a big number. So the fear is that this might result in a Mandal 2 kind of a situation, and this might give a new lease of life to the regional party, which are actually lying very low compared to what their status, what their situation was politically, the way they were dominant in early 90s till late 90s. I think that's the fear, or that's the hesitation why BJP doesn't want to, pick up this new issue of caste-based census.
Okay, let me also bring in Maninder Thakur on that, and then Anila Singh can respond.
Yeah, I think this fear seems to be there, that probably this will create a new kind of post-Mandal 2 kind of situation. But I think Indian politics has moved away from there. For instance, in UP, you can see how micromanagement has been done. And it is also possible now gradually, as BJP itself is emerging as OBC party, and the reservation policy that BJP is repeatedly saying that it is committed to. So that contradiction seems to be have resolved by BJP for itself. In fact, what I'm wondering is that why both parties, Congress and BJP, when they are in power, they have denied this caste census. Is it something related to the administrative question? I don't know. Maybe even that would be genuinely a point to be discussed. But my hunch is that if BJP has the numbers there, in fact, if you go to the political pundits, they say that they already have caste numbers in their hand. And they already calculate, as you rightly said, that representation is already being given in the name of caste. So there should not be much problem. I don't know why this kind of fear is there. Congress having a fear, I can understand. But BJP has fairly well articulated caste and religion together. And it has, in fact, taken into consideration even the class. So you will find that lower class of every caste supporting BJP. OBC, as Sanjay rightly said, that large number of non-Yadav OBCs have gone towards BJP. Non-Jatav Dalits have gone towards BJP. So probably by calculating their numbers, the number of the smaller groups, BJP may create a new kind of policy for them, as Nitish Kumar carved out that kind of policy. And BJP has still time to do that. So I do not know why BJP is fearing.
Maybe they don't want to just ruffle the feathers ahead of the next round of state elections. Anila Singh can maybe provide us more insights.
I absolutely do not agree what Professor Thakur and Sanjay ji mentioned, that Bharatiya Janata Party is somehow scared of getting caste census done, because then the regional parties, new regional parties may emerge, or already prevalent regional parties may be more strengthened politically. I do not agree here. I do not agree here. Why? Because in 2014, we have shown that people voted for us above caste and religion lines. I come from Uttar Pradesh. I observed it in 2017. And then again in 2019, we saw that people voted for us not on caste and religion lines, but yes, they voted in the name of Narendra Modi ji and his ideology, his mission and vision. So somebody saying that Bharatiya Janata Party is scared of getting this caste census done because they think that some of the castes, they will have their own political strength out of it. That's not a right.
So what has changed then? Then what, you are saying that in 10 years you realize that you have found a better way of doing politics and governance that doesn't involve caste-based politics, even though as recent as your last round of cabinet appointments were simply based to tell the whole country how you are including everybody from OBC and SC and ST and caste. So you are playing those politics, but you are telling us you are not playing the politics.
No, it is always good for any political party to tell, yes, we have got a cabinet which represents all strata of the society. So what is wrong in that? I think that is absolutely a right move. Because we have seen that how earlier, I mean, if we talk about the central governments, how they have been dominated by upper caste. So if Modi government says that we have got these many OBC ministers or these many women ministers or SC/ST ministers in our cabinet, so what is wrong in that? I think that is absolutely a right thing. And whatever we do, I mean, there is a transparency. And as I said, that Bharatiya Janata Party is one political party which is so confident that people are going to vote in the name of Modi ji above caste line, above religion line.
Okay,
Other political parties can't do that.
On one hand, you say dividing caste will further weaken the society and increase discrimination, but you also say that making a caste-based appointments leads to harmony and inclusion.
That gives motivation to that. That gives motivation. Like if we say that these many ministers are from OBC category, that gives motivation to other people as well. They want to come into politics. They want to become leaders. What is wrong in that?
Okay,
when
all
we
right.
say that these many women ministers we have in our cabinet, then we have more politicians, women politicians. I call them politicians. So what is? I mean, that is something we should promote. We don't have anything to shy.
Rajiv Ranjan ji.
One more thing I want to say here. When राजीव जी said कि सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल ने उस वक्त इसलिए मना किया क्योंकि पार्टीशन हुआ था. सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल जी ने इसलिए मना किया था कि ये सामाजिक ताना बाना बिगड़ जाएगा, इसलिए नहीं करना चाहिए. And I think Dr. मनमोहन सिंह जी
पर मुझे ये नहीं समझ में आता अनिला सिंह, अगर आप वो बात मानने के लिए तैयार हैं तो मुझे ये नहीं समझ में आता कि जॉब्स में, एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट में, मेडिकल कॉलेज में, इंजीनियरिंग में 5% इसके लिए, 5% उसके लिए, 10% इसके लिए, ये आप किस बेसिस पे डिसाइड करते चले आ रहे हैं जब आपने 80 साल से सेंसस किया ही नहीं और वो डिटेल्स आप बताते नहीं? How are you deciding what people, what percentage of people from which communities and castes deserve our attention, our special policies, deserve affirmative action when you don't know the reality on ground without this data? How are you deciding that? Who's backward and who's not anymore?
There is a system to know. And at the same time, as I said, Tanvi, that state governments are more than free to get caste census done in their respective states. What they are waiting for?
Okay, Rajiv Ranjan.
Caste census done in his state.
Okay.
देखिए, सबसे पहली बात तो ये कि मैं ये मानता हूं कि प्रधानमंत्री जी का ये विशेषाधिकार है मंत्रिपरिषद में किसको शामिल करें. मैंने केवल ये कहा कि सैद्धांतिक तौर पर यही बातें होती है, लेकिन व्यवहारिक पक्ष ये है कि सबों को लिया जाए. अब अगर सब कुछ जाति, धर्म, संप्रदाय पर ही आधारित, तो जो मुखर जातियां होती हैं, जो प्रिंट एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया में आप विधानसभा और लोकसभा चुनाव के रिव्यूज पढ़ें, उनमें उन जातियों की चर्चा ज्यादा आक्रामक तरीके से होती है जो मुखर है, जो अपनी बात रखते हैं. कहीं ना कहीं देश की राजनीति में अति पिछड़ी जातियों की जो भूमिका उभर करके आई, उसका श्रेय नीतीश कुमार जी को जाता है और बिहार ने एक तरीके से इसकी शुरुआत कर. अब ये एक ब्लॉक उभर करके आया, लेकिन आधिकारिक तौर पर जब ये आंकड़े सार्वजनिक होंगे तो चाहे वो सवर्ण हो, पिछड़े हो, अति पिछड़े हो, इन सबों के बारे में आधिकारिक तौर पर आपको ये आंकड़े मिल सकेंगे कि कौन किस नंबर में है. विधानसभा चुनाव के लिए आप पीपल रिव्यूज जरा देख लीजिए. मुझे तो लगता है कि इस कोई भी ऐसा मंच नहीं है जहां जातियां चर्चा में नहीं होती हैं. अखबारों में, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया में ठाकुरों को खुश करने के लिए, यादवों को खुश करने के लिए, कुर्मियों को खुश करने के लिए इस तरह के जो कैप्शंस लगते हैं, जिस तरह के स्क्रॉल्स नीचे चलते रहते हैं, मुझे लगता है उसके बाद इस देश में जाति, धर्म, संप्रदाय पर अगर कोई आधिकारिक तौर पर चर्चा करने से हम अगर बचना चाहते हैं तो ये पाखंड है. हम लोगों को कास्ट सेंसस की तरफ बढ़ना चाहिए और आधिकारिक आंकड़े जब आएंगे तो निसंदेह जो चुप हैं, जो मुखर हैं, सबकी जानकारी लोगों के सामने आ पाएगी.
Okay. The point that I raised and what Rajiv Ranjan has also said, let's look at it further, Amitabh Tiwari. And I want to specifically talk about our reservation policies as one example. Like you said, other government schemes, welfare schemes, which I don't think too many of them were based on on backward castes only, but were more to do with class or any which ways, and that continues. But your jobs, your education, the whole fight in every state of everybody wanting their own quota, Marathas want quota, Jats want quota, Patidars want quota, is only because there is reservation in education and jobs, government jobs, also private jobs. Now, how are we deciding this? How are we adding more and more to the quota without actually looking at the socio-economic structure and where these communities stand?
See, actually, there is already a concept of creamy layer and non-creamy layer in OBCs. So, whoever is earning more than 8 lakhs per annum is not qualified for a reservation under OBC. So, again, we go back to class. Most of the policies, most of the decisions which the government is taking is being based on whether a person is poor, economically poor or not. Secondly, what will be the benefit of knowing that such and such group accounts for such and such percentage of population? What will we, after that, see, what will we do with that data? Let's say we get the data that OBCs are 60% of population. Then what? What is the next step? Then people will demand that reservation should increase from 27% to 60%. See, reservations were done only for an initial period of 10 years. We are now in our 75th year, and it is a very tricky issue. It has led to BJP losing election in Bihar in 2015, but eventually this needs to be phased out, and a socio-economic class-based reservation is what will work in this country. So why BJP or why people are afraid of doing a caste-based census? That it is going to open a Pandora's box, as you already said. Now upper caste people, Marathas, Patels, Jats want to get into OBC. Why? Because there is reservation. Because people get jobs, and that only government jobs, not private jobs, or people get seats in educational colleges. So if we continue with this policy and we get a number, what will we do with that number? It is going to create.
So is there fear that a fresh data puts it in perspective about various communities in our country, and that could completely, or that could strengthen the argument against reservation? Mr. Tiwari.
Sorry?
Is the fear that in a caste-based census and the data that it throws up will strengthen the argument against the existing reservation structure?
No, I am saying it would strengthen the argument for further reservations.
But surely some of the castes will have to be removed for that, those who've done some progress in the last 70 years.
But progress is what? Economy.
Yes, of course.
His income. His not belonging to an OBC or SC, ST caste.
Okay, okay.
The urban India and the youth, according to a survey by CSDS itself, caste plays a lesser role in urban India. See, the increasing middle class, which was dominated by upper caste, has now, the composition is changing because people who are moving up the chain because of the reservation in jobs.
It may be lesser in our urban cities than it is in our rural areas, but it isn't non-existent. Every day we get stories of caste-based violence, caste discrimination in government, in private sector, in every sphere of our life. It pretty much still exists, and that can't be denied, to the point that Rajiv Ranjan was also making. Or, you know, conversations in urban areas, in rural areas, still revolve around what your identity is. Two more panelists are joining us right now in this conversation. As I say thank you to Rajiv Ranjan, I also say good evening to Naval Kishore of the RJD and A. Saravanan of the DMK. And Saravanan is already raring to go, raised his hands already. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. See, Tanvi, when we speak about reservation can never be on the basis of economics, because economics is fungible. Today, I am a poor man. Tomorrow, I'll be a millionaire. Today, I'm a millionaire. Tomorrow, I'll be a poor man. So what will be the classification? How can you classify any reservation on the basis of economics. That is why our founding fathers avoided the term economical, social, cultural, and educationally backward. Just because you are a rich guy, it wouldn't give you a respectability in our society. That is the hard truth. Even in the city, urban cities, how many times, how many places you are finding non-vegetarians not permitted to rent out the premises. This is caste discrimination. And when we talk about the posts, the top posts of the judiciary, of the central government, the ministry, the union ministry, how many are from the other communities? They tom-tommed. Recently now they tom-tommed. Oh, we have expanded the cabinet. Look at the kind of representation we have given to the other communities. Where were they? What were they doing for the last 7 years? This is what that is happening after 70 years of independence. So there is no question. They are talking about that the reservations were for the earlier 15 years. It's going to take another 50 or 60 years for this reservation to uplift the lower castes.
So Saravanan, what is it that you are hoping to find out from a caste-based census?
Yes, you're right. See, now we are capping the reservation at 50%.
Right.
That cap has to go. In Tamil Nadu, we have 69% reservation. And luckily it is there in the 9th schedule. So it will not be able to be challenged before the court. Even then the Supreme Court is taking up the challenge. And they ask, what is the basis for you to have 69% of the reservation? If there is a caste-based census, it will add impetus to us. It will say there should be proportional representation. Only when there is proportional representation, there is social justice. 3% of the population or 5% of the population cannot fight for 50% of the seats. This is proportional representation. And proportional representation is the bedrock of social justice. We have so many people till downtrodden. They were not able to get the opportunities. We may give them money, but opportunities they will not be able to get. We will be able to uplift them only if we educate them. And even if they are educated, not so qualified, if they are educated with a degree or something, the jobs will give them prosperity, will give them respectability. That is what is important. Respectability, social stature defines backwardness.
Okay.
So that is why we are saying we should have this caste-based census. We took that in 1931.
Yeah.
We can't wait anymore.
Well, we did one when UPA was in power, but we never got the details of it.
That's what. That was also, our MP questioned it. Mr. T.K. Silangovan had a question. Are you going to do this? The UPA committed, yes, we are going to go ahead with the caste-based census. But it dropped, and now
even the BJP and BJP's leader at that time, Mr. Gopinath Munde, wanted a caste-based census as well. But of course, the BJP under Prime Minister Modi doesn't seem to want that. But point taken. Before I go to Naval Kishore, let me bring in Professor Maninder Thakur. Professor Thakur, this is what you and Sanjay Kumar were referring to, right? This the Pandora's box that will open off. Adding more community names or changing the cap for reservation. Is that, one of the biggest fallouts that will happen?
That could happen, but I have a suggestion. I think that OBC reservation is not merely based on caste. As I said, Mandal Commission had many other criteria. So maybe that should be re-evaluated. And if there is a question of representation, not of redistribution, I think that also we should decide whether it's a question of representation or redistribution. Then representation question need to be solved. You can't have a minority capturing majority space in politics or anywhere else.
Yes.
So I think that demand is quite genuine. You can't say no to that. The point is that how do you handle the proportional representation? Will that be open for all? That will you decide that there will be no reservation, there will no general category? Every post will be decided according to the proportion. Will that be the kind of criteria? That is, I think, the issue that one has to discuss. Therefore, despite the fact there was 52% of OBC according to Mandal Commission, a reasonable number was decided, that 27% reservation should be given to them. So maybe as it is possible that in the states it can be increased, or center also may increase it, but what extent? How will you resolve that? I think that is one of the serious political questions that one has to.
Okay, so Sanjay Kumar, what happens when if you find in this census some of the castes now have a better representation?
Better representation where? In the census?
Yes. A higher percentage.
I don't know what happens, but what BJP is suspecting, that regional parties will get a issue around which they will start playing their politics. And the fear is that I think it is absolutely clear, even if we don't have figures in front of us, that OBC's estimates is not 27%. It is going to be much higher compared to 27%. So this is going to give a agenda issue to the regional party. They would start demanding for higher proportion of reservation for OBC, and this is going to give an issue which would be live, and the regional party would start playing their politics around that, and this is going to somewhat corner the BJP, and BJP may find it in a difficult position. I think that's what BJP is anticipating, that this might happen, and that is why they doesn't seem to be favoring any caste-based census, which will give us details of numbers of each and every caste.
Okay, Naval Kishore also joins me. Let's also understand what is it about caste-based census that has yet again united the JDU and the RJT with the BJP on the other side.
देखिए, जातिगत आंकड़ों की जरूरत देश को बहुत पहले थी, और इतना विलंब करने का कारण ये हुआ कि 1947 से लेकर 1990 तक सब कोई जानता था कि ओबीसी के आंकड़े जो हैं वो 52% के आसपास हैं। वो चाहे काका कालेलकर रिपोर्ट हो या स्टेट लेवल पे जितने भी आयोग ने काम किया, बिहार में मुंगेरी लाल आयोग ने काम किया या उसके बाद मंडल आयोग ने काम किया, तो जो वो लोग जो जातियों की सूची बना रहे थे उस समय भी उन लोगों ने ये बात रखी थी कि अगर आंकड़े होते तो ये सूची बनाने में ज़्यादा आसानी होती और ज़्यादा रिपोर्ट जो होता वो ज़्यादा कारगर होता। तो आंकड़ों की जरूरत तो 1947 से ही थी, और आपको ये भी मालूम होगा कि आरक्षित वर्ग में मात्र ओबीसी की गणना नहीं होती है, एससी एसटी की ऑलरेडी गणना होती है, मात्र ओबीसी की गणना नहीं होती है, और इसका कारण सिर्फ एक ही है। और जिस भय को लेकर बीजेपी आगे बढ़ रही है, इवन दो कि पिछले दशक में वो चाहे उनके मुख्य नेता हो या होम मिनिस्टर राजनाथ सिंह हो या बड़े बड़े नेता जिन्होंने डिमांड की है कि नहीं जातिगत जनगणना होनी चाहिए, उससे पीछे हटते हुए भाजपा को ये लगता है कि जिस जाति को वो ढकना चाहती है वो भारतीय समाज की सच्चाई है, और इससे कोई बहुत बड़ी चीज सामने नहीं आने वाली है। 90 साल पहले जो गणना हुआ है उससे कम एक आकलन सबके पास है। जो सूचना मिलेगी वो 90 साल के बाद की एक सच्ची सूचना होगी, सच्ची आंकड़े होगी। नहीं, पर
बीजेपी क्यों चाहेगी किसी भी जाति का सच छुपाना?
क्योंकि उसको डर ये है कि जो जाति सच्चाई है उसको धर्म के पर्दे से ढकना चाहती है। वो चाहती है कि केवल हिंदुत्व चले, और जो जाति यहाँ की सच्चाई है और जातिगत गैर बराबरी है। देखिए, डिमांड केवल एक ही है, जाति तो है और रहेगा, इसमें कोई इसको मिटा नहीं सकता है, लेकिन जातिगत गैर बराबरी को मिटाई जा सकती है। और अगर जातिगत गैर बराबरी को, इनइक्वालिटी को अगर मिटाना है तो उसकी जानकारी होनी चाहिए। जैसे जानकारी स्वतंत्रता के पूर्व ही पता थी कि एससी एसटी की जानकारी थी, तो आप आज देखेंगे कि पिछले 70 साल में 75 साल में जो उनको अवसर मिला है वो कहीं आसपास में है। लेकिन ओबीसी को 1947 से लेकर 1990 तक जानकारी के अभाव में कई राज्यों ने जहां पर जानकारी मिले और उन्होंने प्रयास किया, वहां पर आप देखिए कि सामाजिक संरचना कितनी बदली है। लेकिन रेस्ट ऑफ द इंडिया में जहां पर इससे लोग भागते रहे, आज भी जो जातिगत आंकड़े हैं उसकी अनुपस्थिति में जो कार्य हुए हैं उससे सामाजिक और जातीय गैर बराबरी परिपूर्ण है। उसको दूर करने के लिए एक रास्ता है। जबकि अगर बीजेपी के नेता जब 2010 में ये बात रखते हैं कि अगर 2011 में जातिगत जनगणना नहीं होती है तो ये सामाजिक अन्याय अगले 10 साल तक के लिए इंतजार करना पड़ेगा, ये होता रहेगा। तो वही बात वही है कि अगर जब तक जनगणना नहीं होगी, जब तक जातियों की जानकारी नहीं होगी, आंकड़े नहीं होगी, तब तक न पॉलिसी हो सकता है, न जिस रिजर्वेशन की बात होती है वो रिजर्वेशन। आप देख लीजिए कि 1990 के पहले जो कि बिना आरक्षण का ओबीसी का स्थिति था, और 1990 के बाद अभी तक का, उन आंकड़ों का अगर आप तुलना करेंगे तो पता चल जाएगा कि जातिगत जनगणना कितनी जरूरी है। बिना सेंसस के, बिना जानकारी के अगर हम अंधे रास्ते पे भटकते रहे तो हमें लगता है कि जो इनके खिलाफ हैं वो चाहते हैं कि जातिगत गैर बराबरी बनी रहे और धर्म के साये में या हिंदुत्व के साये में पूरे देश को अंधेरा में ले जाना चाहते हैं। अगर आप बराबरी के तरफ जाना चाहते हैं तो सबसे पहले आंकड़ों को स्वीकार करना चाहिए। एक बार जबकि हम लोग 5,000 करोड़ खर्च करके उस आंकड़ों से परिचय नहीं हो पाया, जो कि देश और ओबीसी समाज के साथ ये बहुत बड़ा धोखा था। अब एक समय आया है कि उसको करेक्ट और दुरुस्त किया जा सकता है। इसलिए जातीय जनगणना पे आप जो भी देखें, आपने अभी बोला रीजनल पार्टी की बात की, इस देश में अगर कोई ओरिजिनल पार्टी है तो ओरिजिनल पार्टी है, क्योंकि वह अपने क्षेत्र के समस्याओं का, वहां के लोगों का, वहां की स्थिति के विषय में सबसे अच्छी जानकारी रखती है। भाजपा उस जानकारी से डरती है, उन आंकड़ों से डरती है।
ओके, अनिला सिंह जो जवाब देना चाहती हैं आपको। अनिला सिंह
जी, देखिए ऐसा है नवल किशोर जी, आप बिहार से आते हैं और 70 के दशक में एक प्रयास किया गया था कि बिहार में खासतौर से मैं बात करूंगी कि जाति जो है वो ड्रॉप हो जानी चाहिए, खत्म हो जानी चाहिए, और एक लहर चली थी कि लोगों ने अपना सरनेम लगाना बंद कर दिया था। ठीक है, फिर वो प्रयास विफल कैसे हो गया? 90 के दशक में हमने देखा वापस लोग जो है अपना सरनेम लगाने लगे। तो सीधी सी बात है, ये अभी सच्चाई है, बिल्कुल सच्चाई है। अगर मैं जाति की बात करती हूँ तो मेरे देश की सच्चाई है। आप कहते हैं कि भाई ये कौन सा जनतंत्र और लोकतंत्र है, अगर मैं कोई सबसे पुराना जो डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम है अमेरिका का देखा जाए, क्या वहां रेसिज्म खत्म हो गया? रेसिज्म आज भी वहां मौजूद है। पर मोदी जी अपने आप में एक ऐसे नेता हैं, उन्होंने जाति ना देखते हुए, धर्म ना देखते हुए जो सोशल बेनिफिट पहुंचाना था लोगों को वो पहुंचाया। चाहे वो शौचालय के रूप में पहुंचाया, चाहे बिजली देने के रूप में पहुंचाया, चाहे आवास योजना के रूप में पहुंचाया, चाहे किसी भी रूप में पहुंचाया।
मंत्रिमंडल का परिचय ओबीसी क्यों बताते हैं? क्यों बताते हैं कि हमारे मंत्रिमंडल में इतने लोग ओबीसी हैं, इतने लोग एससी हैं, इतने लोग एसटी हैं?
आपको अपनी
संघ जब मोदी जी को थोप रहे थे देश पे, तो क्यों बताए कि
ओके नवल किशोर, उनको जवाब अपना खत्म करने दीजिए।
मैं अपनी बात पूरी कर दूं। दिस इज व्हाट वी वांट। क्या जेपी जो थे, या लोहिया जी जो थे, या अम्बेडकर जी जो थे, क्या वो लोग चाहते थे कि इस देश में जो कास्ट जो है उसके और एनकरेज किया जाए? वो कहते थे डिस्करेज किया जाए। बट व्हाट वी ऑब्जर्व हियर, especially if I talk about regional parties, they want to strengthen this country on caste basis. And Narendra Modi ji wants to strengthen this country above caste and religion line. That is why he says, sabka saath, sabka vikas. But at the same time, when we see that regional parties, especially advocating for caste census, this shows that they want to weaken this country. They want to weaken the social strata of this country. I don't think so. It is a good thing. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay.
How does having information, how does having knowledge about various castes and communities in our country weaken it? When in a country where every single political move, government move is basis on that, how does having the information on the population weaken the country? Anila Singh.
एक बहुत important चीज है।
Yeah.
हर जितनी भी
1 minute, Mr. Tiwari. 1 minute, Mr. Just let Anila answer this. Yeah.
This is, see, what I want to say here, that this is the high time when we have to discourage the caste system through education or whatever the means. But what we see, especially regional parties, they want to strengthen the caste system. That is why I mentioned.
So tell me this. No, I am trying to understand, Anila Singh, how does a system in our country, a government decided policy which is based on caste for education, for jobs, be okay? 1 minute, allow me to finish the question now, Anila Singh. You are saying you're dividing the country basis caste. You shouldn't do that anymore. I'm asking you, when you're designing your government policies basis caste, and that doesn't divide this country, how does having information about the population itself divide the country?
Yes, any ruling government, they have got knowledge about their states. And this is what I am saying, that if you're governing a state, then you should do the development not on the caste lines, but of your state as a whole.
So do away with reservation then. Then why do you have reservation in jobs? हटा दीजिए कोटा, सबके लिए हटा दीजिए कोटा. करिए सबका विकास, करिए सबका विकास, हटा दीजिए ना कोटा फिर.
मैं एक बात कहना चाहती हूँ, उसको बात को कह के मैं अपनी बात खत्म करूंगी. पार्लियामेंट एक जगह होती है जहाँ पे आप डिस्कस कर सकते थे कि कास्ट सेंसस होना चाहिए, नहीं होना चाहिए, क्या हमें रिजर्वेशन खत्म कर देना चाहिए, नहीं कर देना चाहिए, पर अपोजिशन ने तो पार्लियामेंट चलने नहीं दिया.
Yes, okay. I am completely out of time. 30 seconds to Saravanan before I wrap this up. Yes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, Tanvi, when they say Sabta Vikas, whatever that meaning, they are not bringing everybody. All are not equals. Only if all are equals, you can take them together. When all of them are unequals, you'll have to give them the due reservation. BJP is an upper caste party. It is for the upper castes. That is why they are opposing this. They don't want to empower the truly downtrodden. Look at their party office bearers and everybody. And they are saying, when we are talking about caste-based census, they are saying we are weakening the nation. We are in fact strengthening the country. Because this caste-based census will run counter to the Hindutva narrative set up by the BJP. That is why they are scared, running away from this caste-based census. We have to empower them. This is what our founding fathers wanted, and we should go ahead with that.
Okay, last comment to Mr. Tiwari, who wanted to say something in between. Yes, Amitabh Tiwari, please. Yeah.
जितनी भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आज डिमांड कर रही हैं कि कास्ट बेस्ड सेंसस होना चाहिए, उनके पास ऑलरेडी हर असेंबली लेवल का कास्ट वाइज डेटा अवेलेबल होता है. उसी के बेसिस पे चुनाव लड़ा जाता है.
तो फिर नवल किशोर क्यों मांग रहे हैं आप और एक सेंसस?
देखिए, समाज का विकास के लिए सेंसस जरूरी है. उस डॉक्टर के डिग्री की चेक होनी चाहिए जो बिना थर्मामीटर का बुखार का दवा देता है. वैसे लोगों की भरमार बीजेपी में है और इसी कारण से वो आंकड़ों के दुश्मन है. इससे कोई और चीज साबित नहीं होता है कि फर्जी डिग्री वाले का भरमार है वहां पे.
All right, completely out of time. A big thank you to all of the panelists who joined me on this conversation. For as long as we are going to have political strategies and entire politics revolving on our identities, caste-based identities, community-based identities, for as long we have government schemes, reservation policies based on caste and the percentage of each caste and then what benefits they get or don't get, as long as we as a country say we believe in affirmative action and implement that across various spheres in our life, why should we then be averse to finding out what is the caste arithmetic in our country? To the argument that it further divides us, that in 2021 we cannot be a country that's looking into each and every person's caste, well then that argument should also be in every sphere of politics and governance, which it isn't. The fact is, there is just fear that some may have of what the data and the new numbers may lead to, reigniting the big debate on your quota policy. Is that what we are fearing? Or is there merit to what many were saying today? The BJP wants to consolidate its vote base and not give chance to other political parties, smaller ones, regional political parties, to play on the subcastes and take its vote away. Let's wait and watch what happens next. Nitish Kumar has decided to carry on with this demand for a caste-based census. He meets Prime Minister Modi in a few days. Several other political parties have raised this issue. Let's see where it goes. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation.